Great day, good people, and welcome to yet another episode of Upwake, where we use real conversations to wake up the people. This week, we are live here in the Mobile Public Library, Ben-Made, to be exact, downtown. And we are here with the co-host this week, Mr. Keandre Davis. You all know who I am, so we ain't got to go through that. But this is my man here, man. He is doing some powerful things in this community. He's working and mobilizing his people, his peers, so that we can be on the move and uplift all our people. So we're excited about this opportunity for this week's show. I'm very interested in the questions that he's going to ask me, and we're about to kick it off right now. We hope you enjoy.
Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Hill, it has been an honor to interview you. And the first question that I have for you, how do you feel about the environment in Mobile, Alabama?
In what aspect?
In the aspect of, those through oppression.
Oh, okay.
And
So are you saying like the quality of life?
the quality of life, yes.
The different communities saying that nice. Oh, okay. Well, one thing that I always share with elected officials when I go and speak to them is people are not going to come into Mobile and say, oh, I had a great time in District 7, or oh, I had a horrible time in District 5. They're going to talk about their experience in Mobile. And so until we're able to get all of our communities at a standard level where people enjoy coming here, people enjoy working here, living here, raising family here, going to school here, all these things, until that has been reached, we are not where we're supposed to be. I think that, of course, there are communities that have been more overlooked than others. We can just use I-65 for an example of that. You look at anything that's east of it, it looks nothing like the majority of the stuff that is west of it. And that's been unfortunate because it's the same taxpayer resources. We each contribute the same money that anyone else that's considered a citizen does. And so we should each have the same access, the same opportunities, and we should be granted a chance at the same level of prosperity. So if I was just to give an assessment of the environment of Mobile, I'm optimistic always. We just had a powerful session today, which makes me believe that anything is possible. And so I'm believing that things are moving, but we have a lot of work to do. And I look forward to seeing that being done very soon. We got to improve.
Okay. That's a wonderful answer. And our second question, have you ever been discriminated against or judged because of your appearance or the area you live in?
You want a short answer or you want me to get in depth with it?
Well, Mr. Hill, I want the real answer.
Oh, okay.
The real answer.
Well, of course, I've been discriminated against. I oftentimes in meetings that are not too far from this place, and usually I'm the youngest person in there. Sometimes I'm the only person that looks like me in there. I'm usually definitely the only one with locks in there. And too often I'm looked at for being an angry black man because I am vocal and I speak up. And so what happens is, over time, our people develop this idea of how we're supposed to treat one another. Our people develop this concept of standards, meaning what our quality of life should look like, and it's based on our zip codes, unfortunately. And so regardless of how intelligent you are, how many degrees you have, how much money you have, if you look like us, you tend to feel some type of way if a cop pull up behind you. These are the same people that look like us that might be in leadership roles. So of course we've been discriminated against. I know I've seen it firsthand, but again, I don't like to harp on those things that, may seem to be negative, because I saw today an opportunity where we can eliminate discrimination. We can eliminate oppression, suppression. We can eliminate those things that have held our people back for generations. So even though I've seen it and had to face it, it is what it is to the world what it is.
And for our third question, from your personal experience, do you feel like as what they would call it, the streets inspire you to become more creative and successful than the school system?
It's a very unique question. I always believe that humans have learned in the same way since beginning time. When I talk to anybody about the idea of thought, I always express that. We copy what we see and we repeat what we hear. So if you haven't seen anything else in life, I can't expect you to understand anything else. And if all you've been exposed to is the street element of life, and you've seen people be successful from this element of life, of course that would be a major influence. If you're growing up in an environment with providing your meals, your clothes, and your transportation, whatever the case may be, is engaged in stuff that man would deem illegal, then that's where you even get a question about comparing the difference of the streets and the educational system. You're both still learning in both environments. We can have class outside if you're willing to learn. So it's not the idea of an educational setting, it's just what you're necessarily being exposed to. And I'll make one more vital point about this. It's like the first piece, I believe the drug dealer is the most business-oriented person in society. They're punctual, they know about people relationships, they know about numbers, they know about measurements, they know about pushing out a product, they know about discretion, they know about communication, they know all these things where they're given an opportunity in a business sector to run an appliance store or a department store. Those skills would be used on an entirely different level. And when we get to this idea about legalities, particularly when you're thinking about the street life, you got to remember reading was illegal at a time for people who look like us. You know, you got to remember that drinking alcohol was illegal at a time, and those things were laws. Slavery was legal. Segregation was legal. So the idea of something just being written down, I mean, I don't care about that. I think you can learn a lot of stuff from the streets that you need to survive, and I think that you can learn a lot in the classroom as well.
Now, our next question, this is, a personal question for me as well. I truly believe myself a person or a given product of their environment and their surroundings. Now, do you believe a teacher and parent/guardian share equal responsibility to create a positive environment?
You said, do they share equal responsibility?
Yes, sir.
All right. Of course. What I hate hearing the most in the education system, I said, well, that's supposed to be at the house. You're supposed to get that done at home. It starts at home. We ain't supposed to be doing this. We ain't no babysitters, all this kind of stuff. If you're an education professional, that means that your expectation is to create scholarly individuals who know how to think and can learn in any environment. So regardless of what they come to your doorstep with, this is something that I make evident when I do professional development sessions. What a young child is going through, a student, because that can be at the toddler to senior citizen level, so let's just say a student. What a student endures after dismissal is what you're going to see when it starts over the next day. So like after the school bell rang, we just use high school for instance, what that student faces from the time that school is dismissed until the time that it starts again, all that is going to show up in the classroom. If you're a true education professional, you cannot say that that's not your responsibility. I was mentioning something earlier today about the idea of the village. So it takes each and all of those components to be a part of the growth of any individual. Like I couldn't be where I am without somebody assisting me, somebody giving me some type of information. So we can't label one another. Now we can change maybe the responsibility, because you should see your family all the time. You should see your education professionals during the time that a season is in, a calendar year is in place. So of course it might be more responsibility as far as you seeing your family member every single day, but the idea that we are not supposed to equally impact the life of an individual, that's just a falsehood. We all have the same responsibility to uplift and keep each other.
Okay. Well, that leads to our final and our last question. What advice would you give to the youth, particularly those in school and at risk, to make a positive impact on their life right now at this moment?
The first piece is for them to realize that they're born with a unique purpose that no one before or after them can complete. And when they don't complete it, they don't just hinder themselves, they mess up everybody. Everybody. So if we having a cookout and I was only tasked to bring the paper plates, the napkins, the cups, I decide that, well, I'm gonna get right before I go to the event, and now I'm out of place. I get there, everybody's excited about eating, about to drink good, have an amazing time, but I left the doggone plates and the cups. My one unique thing I was supposed to do. Now, even though we can eventually get some more plates, we can get some more cups, how much time was wasted or delayed because we couldn't start when we expected to start? So the same thing is with your life purpose. You have something that is a gift within you that you're supposed to be sharing with others. And by sharing it with others, it will make room for you. So young people, what has happened, you come into this world into a system of cans and can'ts and do's and don'ts. All right? The moment you're born, they slap you and cover you up. You've already started being put down from just your natural self when you get here. Then as you get older, you start showing signs of things you want to do. Some people might be beating on pan. Some people might be reading books. Some people might be asking a lot of questions. Some people might be outside, adventurous. Some people might be playing sports, whatever the case may be. You start giving these signs at a very, very tender age in your life. And unfortunately, because people maybe couldn't accomplish that during their life, or because people may have fear of what the results would be if you pursued that, or because people may not understand even what you're expressing, you're pushed away from recognizing that purpose. And so what I would encourage all you to do is think back to that one idea that was bigger than what anyone else could imagine happening, that was bigger and better than what you probably could even think about for yourself at the moment, because that's the thing that you should be concentrating on. And when you're able to concentrate on that, you're going to start contributing in ways that you never expected. The last thing I would say to encourage young people is to recognize that you're not in this by yourself. That's the first thing. You just fed this idea, I got to get it on my own. I got to make it happen for myself. I have to be the one to do this. If I don't get it for me, that's it. And I'm not going to be concerned about you getting yours. I'm still working on just getting mine by myself. So as long as we have that concept of mentality, we will never be satisfied. So the satisfaction is not going to come with money. It's not going to come with property. It's not going to come with resources. It's not going to come with popularity or influence. It's going to come with the impact that you made. And when you see that other people are better off because of what you did, that's the biggest reward that you could ever receive. And so as long as you understand that, all the other stuff will fall in place. When I personally, this is a personal story for me and I closed out, I love to talk. When I started doing things with the only purpose to help others, all the stuff I wanted started falling in place. It just started falling in place. So it makes my resources, the things that I need to survive, just start falling in place. When I was trying to make stuff happen to fit for me, I never had enough. Never. But then when I began saying, no, I'm going to use these efforts to ensure that everybody else can understand that they can do the same thing, that's when, and only when, I became my best self. So I would encourage young people to see that now, because it took me at minimum 2 decades of my life to even start thinking about it. It's like, if you start seeing it now at this stage, by the time you get to that point, there'll be nothing that you can't do. There'll be nothing that you won't accomplish. There'll be no feat that'll be too hard for you. There'll be no challenge that you can't overcome. There'll be no task that'll be put before you that you won't figure out a way how to make it happen. And I totally believe that. So I encourage all young people to walk forward with that type of ambition, that type of belief, and then when it gets tough, it seems like it's not going to work the way that you got to work, you remember that your goal is the only thing that matters. And what you got to do, you're going to get it done. Simple as that. Which I am going to say, period.
Period. Hey, but Mr. Hill, I heard a story about you were working with several kids in elementary school. You told them what it's like to be an A student. Could you elaborate on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They got their progress reports yesterday. And so most times when you get progress reports, if the grades aren't the best, people will talk at you, they'll fuss at you, they'll punish you, and all this kind of stuff. When at that concrete place of vulnerability, you need to be uplifted rather than talked at, rather than torn down. So instead of me saying, oh, this is horrible, like what is going on? How in the world could this happen? Instead of me saying that, I say, you are an A student. This is not you. This piece of paper does not reflect who you actually are. Are you ready to get serious about doing what is necessary so that you won't be feeling the way that you feel right now by looking at this paper? So young people, the only concept that really through the whole time of adolescence, it's a battle to fit in and stand out all at the same time. That's the battle. So when you're looking at your classmates who got A's and all this kind of stuff, you feel some type of way. And so you want to stand out in the sense that you are greater than what something reflects right now on this piece of paper. And what's fortunate, what I told him too, this is just a report of progress. It's not a report card. Now that's the final piece right there. So if we ain't got it together by then, we got some problems. But if you take ownership of it on your own, you can see how, wow, I'm actually able to do that. I didn't have to waste the time before, and now I'm gonna make sure that it doesn't happen again. And then what becomes the biggest responsibility though is when you see your friend slipping, this is our second grade, you have to be willing to go encourage your friend too and say, hey, we better than that. We A students. You see them slacking off a bit, that's as much your responsibility as it is theirs, their teacher, and their parent. When you see your friend slacking off, you go tell your friend, hey, hey man, we got too much to do. We scholars. We're A students. So that's all that was. You know, just encourage instead of just beating people down all the time. You have some more questions?
Oh no, sir.
Okay. Well, we so do appreciate y'all tuning in a little bit to Wake With Views, real conversations to wake up the people. This has been an amazing opportunity to sit with this young man. I'm so excited about the things that are coming forth. We ask that you would like this, comment, share, all this good stuff. Subscribe to the channel. And this is only the beginning, baby. Only up for you. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace.